Welcome to Gloom Ghouls, your daily dose of adrenaline where mysteries come alive. Let's dive in. The camera sweeps slowly over a storm-drenched cityscape. Lightning flashes the sky, illuminating towers that pierce the darkness like jagged teeth. Rain blankets the streets in a relentless assault, cascading from rooftops, drumming furiously against car hoods, and pooling in uneven gutters. The air is heavy, oppressive, charged with the kind of electricity that worms its way under the skin and tightens the air in your lungs. The hum of an oncoming storm lingers, a symphony of eerie anticipation. In this foreboding tableau, the story begins. A voice, calm yet edged with dread, narrates, "In a locked studio, a celebrated artist is found lifeless, surrounded by hauntingly intricate portraits of strangers no one can identify." Detective Evelyn Hart steps out of her vehicle, her steady demeanor contrasting with the anxiety simmering beneath. The flashing neon signs of a seedy adjoining street reflect in shallow puddles as her boots splash against the wet pavement. She approaches the rusted door of the late artist's studio with a meticulous gaze. The faint tang of turpentine mingles with the staleness of decay, shadowing her every breath as she shoves the creaking door open. Inside, the air seems to shift, dense and alive. Every detail of the dimly lit space screams chaos and obsession. The walls are a mosaic of unnervingly lifelike portraits, each painstakingly detailed, down to the faintest blemish. At first glance, it's art. At second, something far darker. The figures seem to stare at Evelyn, following her every breath, every motion, with silent, unsettling intensity. It feels as though the room is choking her, the tension physical and alive. Evelyn's voice is low but sharp, the words catching slightly as goosebumps prickle her spine. Why do they feel alive? As she begins her investigation, the ominous patterns unfold like a puzzle no one should solve. The portraits are too precise, too vivid to be dismissed as simple artistry. Evelyn pores over the forensic report. Heart failure, the supposed cause of the artist's demise. But she is steadfast, attuned to the inexplicable. Her instincts tell her that this is no ordinary crime scene, and soon chilling leads emerge. An anxious art dealer mutters half-formed confessions about those in the portraits. They vanished, every last one of them, always within an hour. Notes hidden deep within the artist's diaries speak of dreams filled with terror, bridges to other realms, voices whispering from cracks in the fabric of existence. Evelyn begins to consult fringe academics, experts in metaphysics infamous for their wild theories. Their explanations send icy dread coursing through her veins. What if these lifelike portraits act as doorways, one asks, windows into dimensions not yet known, pulling their subjects into something unthinkable? Her skepticism crumbles as the room itself seems to watch her, its painted inhabitants subtly shifting at the edges of her vision. For the first time, Evelyn wonders, is she already part of their story? Evelyn, driven by a stubborn intellect that refuses to let the mystery rest, dives deeply into the cryptic symbols barely noticeable in the brushstrokes of the studio's paintings. Hours of obsessive examination reveal an unnerving truth. The symbols form coordinates. With reluctance laced with curiosity, Evelyn plugs them into her GPS. The trail leads her to a seemingly forgotten observatory perched on a hill at the city's outskirts, a relic of scientific ambition strangled by time. Its cavernous silhouette looms above Evelyn, shrouded in mist and foreboding. Inside, the darkness breathes, alive with dust motes swirling through moonbeams that spill through fractured windows. Evelyn's flashlight cuts through it all, illuminating tables buried in celestial charts, cryptic schematics, in old, yellowing notes. Her trained eye gravitates to a stack of pages scrawled with feverish handwriting. The phrases she deciphers cause her pulse to quicken. Fractures converge. Timelines fragment. Dimensional bleed. Amid the dusty chaos, a hardcover notebook calls to her, its leather cover creased and brittle. Inside, fragments of the artist's descent into madness seem written in blood. Through me they escape. I create, they cross. Evelyn's trembling hand lowers the book as an icy realization takes hold. The artist had been their pawn, a helpless instrument for entities from beyond human understanding, rendered impossible as though by invisible hands. These paintings weren't mere still lives. They were active breaches between realms. Her breath catches as she uncovers an old video recording tucked beneath the stacks. As Evelyn plays it back, she watches the artist's painting process captured in startling clarity. His arm moves unnaturally, fast and mechanical. Even pausing the footage doesn't disrupt the flawless, baffling precision of his work. Something eerily unnatural was guiding him, enslaving him. An expert she contacts confirms her instincts. Possession, the expert whispers, but not as we know it. A vessel controlled to create, to open. Panic edges into Evelyn's previously unflappable logic. Back at the studio, her unfinished portrait haunts her. It is positioned arrogantly against the wall, mocking her attempts to piece together its implications. She calculates dreadfully. 1 hour. If patterns hold, her time could be up upon its completion. Evelyn knows she must act. She teeters at the edge of morality, knowing destroying the paintings might save her life, but at an unknown cost. Could any trapped souls be freed? Or will such an act seal their grim fate? Her choice carves itself in her mind. Survival must be her priority. The studio is a battleground now, each painting an adversary as Evelyn moves decisively across the cursed space. The oppressive energy feels heavier than ever, bearing down on her chest as though demanding her surrender. Her steps echo unnervingly as she collects the cursed portraits, each face contorted with a frozen expression of terror and anguish. They seem alive with resistance, and Evelyn shudders as her hands tremble under their weight. Every heave of gasoline radiates a symbolic finality. The paintings drip with the volatile liquid, their faces smeared yet still watching. Evelyn steels herself, her resolve flickering but intact. With shaking hands, she lights a match. The fire arrives in a blinding fury, sweeping violently across the grotesque collection. Flames leap high, consuming both the canvases and Evelyn's fractured thoughts. But it doesn't end there. In horrifying unison, voices crawl from the inferno. Disembodied screams, guttural whispers merging with crackling flames. Evelyn's instincts recoil as her breaths become shallow, her hands clutching her holstered weapon. These sounds can't be real. Her mind races with fleeting explanations. Perhaps this is guilt manifesting itself, but guilt doesn't sound like ancient, inhuman wailing. Soon only embers remain, and Evelyn forces smoke-laden air into her lungs, steadying herself against the ashen remains. The unnatural pressure in the studio has dissipated, but Evelyn's unease only grows. The journal spoke of greater forces, historical cycles, and Evelyn realizes her actions might not be an end, but a prelude to greater ripples. The night's events leave her shaken, yet clarity shines. This battle has existed for centuries, involving others who shared her torment. It was never about me, she thinks grimly, but they've made me part of it. She begins tracing centuries-spanning clues, tying her case to others, a maddening puzzle stretching deep into the human subconscious. Thanks for diving into today's story with Gloom Ghouls, your daily dose of adrenaline. Be sure to subscribe, hit that like button, and share the chills with your friends. And remember, what's beyond the veil might be watching you too.